one.
What's up, golf fans, and welcome to the golf show on the Gruely Truth Sports Network. The inaugural show of the golf show. I'm one of your co-hosts, Lukas, Weese, and I'm proud to be joined by one of my other golf fanatic co-hosts, Steve Risley. Steve, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
Lukas, I'm pumped, baby. I am pumped. This is something I've been waiting for a long time. I mean, when I left basketball back in the mid-'80s and got done, I needed to find a competitive outlet where I could manage my body from the beating it took and could still find that competitive outlet where I could go out and really compete at something at a high level and something I knew would blow me away every day, and it became golf. So for the last 35 years, I have just been passionate about this game. I'm passionate about it every day that I play. I follow the game closer than any sport I follow at all. And I've been fortunate enough to play many of the great courses in this country based on opportunities. And I am looking forward to just breaking down results and opportunities in the game of golf with you, who I know is just a mastermind and a genius at your trade.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I'm as lucky to have someone like you, Steve, who knows a lot about the game of golf, who's covered the game of golf. I'm someone who's, gotten into the game since I've been a young boy. I've played it a bit, not great, but I love following the game, and I look forward to breaking down some of the key hot-button topics in the game of golf each week.
Well, Lukas, here's how it is. When my son was born 23 years ago, above his crib, I posted on the wall a picture of Freddie Couples, who, boom, was probably the greatest player at that time in that era when he was born back in the mid-'90s, just come off winning the Masters. Mm-hmm. And I put up on the wall with 4 tacks a poster of Freddie Couples. By the time he could see straight, he went up there and removed it and put up a poster of George Lucas. So that kind of tells you where his mindset was and where my mindset was. I'm thinking 5-iron, 180 yards.
Wow.
4-iron, 200 yards. I would sit there and yell at to him at night. As I was putting him to sleep, I would just say 5-iron, 180. And now 5-iron goes 230 for these guys now. So it's a totally different.
It's crazy how long these guys hit the ball. But anyway, let's get started with some of the topics. Let's look at, Steve. Last weekend was the World Golf Championship, the Firestone Invitational at Firestone Golf and Country Club. It was the last time that Firestone, because of new PGA Tour changes, is going to host this tournament. And it was Justin Thomas who came out with the victory. This was Justin Thomas' second PGA Tour victory. He won by 4 strokes over Kyle Stanley. And to me, Steve, when I watched this tournament, it was a comfortable victory for Justin Thomas. It didn't seem like the competition was, impeding him in any way. He just went about his business. It was even keel. It was steady that got him the victory. And I just would have liked to see some of the field, like Rory McIlroy and other guys, really make a charge of Justin Thomas because it just seemed too easy for him. What did you think?
Yeah, and I'll say this. I'm sad that the Tour is losing Firestone as a golf course. I've played that course multiple times. It is a tremendous layout. I mean, there's no out of bounds. It's in a square plot of land. Basically, there's not much water. Really, 16 may be the only really water hole on that course. But it's tree lined, and it's a think and recovery type of golf course, not a bomber's golf course, which is what lends to a guy like Justin Thomas, who can hit the ball far away, but he's still so accurate with his iron play, it bodes into his hand. I agree with you. I mean, I think that he cruised to victory. Clearly, you've played enough. Golf is a game of up and downs. I mean, you just sometimes you get up, and what Jack Nicklaus used to always say was he never really had one swing pattern because he just went with whatever his body told him to go with on that given day. When you wake up, you get out of bed differently, you take a shower differently, you go to the court, you warm up differently, and your body just reacts differently to your muscle structure. And Justin Thomas seems to be a master of being able to adapt his swing to what he's feeling that day. And clearly he did it the best of anybody by a long shot this week at Firestone.
Oh, for sure. And I just think, too, Steve, Justin Thomas, this was his second PGA Tour victory this year. But I just wish, for someone that consistent, someone that accurate, that he would win more tournaments, that he would be in contention more tournaments. I mean, it's been 5 months since his last victory at the Honda Classic. He hasn't won a major this year. Heck, he hasn't even been competitive in major. So to me, it's just, yeah, go ahead.
No, and he might not be competitive next week. That's just the way golf has evolved with the equipment and the way the game is thought out and processed and played these days. I mean, they have swing gurus, they have mental gurus, they have caddies who know more about the game of golf than the golfers know about the game of golf. And they almost become like robots and just kind of go out there and methodically push their way through a golf course. The creative thinking of a Trevino or a Player or a Nicklaus or a Palmer or even a Tiger Woods at his prime, have kind of vanished from the game. What I saw more than anything was I get so tired of watching guys hit 3 irons off the tee on 500-yard par fours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, I get it, because you can hit a 3-iron farther than I could ever dream of hitting my driver at 59 years old, although I do have the new TaylorMade M3 driver that's set up to fit my swing. There's no plug for TaylorMade there if you want to sponsor us. It's just these guys play the game so methodically now, but they can't sustain that on any given week. I mean, and I think the other thing is the breadth of depth of talent that's out there now playing the game, even back when Tiger came up and started dominating the game in 98 and into the early 2000s. I mean, the level of consistent talent between Spieth, Johnson, Thomas, I mean, you can go down the list of all the players that are out there that have the ability to win on any given week, that they start just playing so conservatively, just rather to not screw up than to go out and just swashbuckle their way through a round of golf and win it. It makes for boring golf, but it allows somebody like Justin who gets his faculties all in order on one weekend, in which he did. He got his faculties in order, and he clearly dominated that tournament.
Oh, absolutely. And to me, I would just like to see golfers, be more aggressive. And look at Justin Thomas this week. I mean, he was methodical and not got him to victory. But in the third round of the 16th hole, he's in the middle of the fairway. It's a par 5. Why not go for the green and try instead of laying up and then hoping I'll get up and down because I'm good with my wedge game to get a birdie. He ended up making a par that hole, and to me, as a fan and someone who's passionate about the game, I would just like to see Justin Thomas and other golfers be more aggressive when they can be more aggressive, because it produces more exciting golf, and they're not just hanging back and not hitting that big shot. Instead they're just being too aggressive. They're being too conservative, as you say, Steve.
Yeah, and part of that might be, and I don't want to say this, but I think it's the money that's on the line now for being aggressive. I mean, the risk reward value on
it's massive. And I think the money that's on the line is just, the risk reward is just too much in that context. And you're right, Steve. Well, I don't know what happened to Steve there. He seems to be off the net here. I don't know if you're listening to this, Steve, but, well, anyway, Firestone, of course, was last week. And, of course, Justin Thomas got the 4-stroke victory. I think one other person who really made a real impact, in my opinion, on the game and in the tournament was Dustin Johnson. Dustin Johnson, of course, won the Canadian Open last week. And Dustin was a great player. He played well. He competed hard, and he was a solid player. Now, this week at the World Golf Championship Firestone Invitational, DJ, he was way back, but then he fired a final round 64. He saw a 29 on the front nine. And I'm telling you, Dustin Johnson, if he keeps that going, and he didn't win the tournament, but a 64 with someone of his caliber of game, he can fire the driver, he can, do the iron, he can putt, he can chip. This is someone who I think can truly take, the helm of being the greatest golfer in the world, because he has the tool. My question about him is he strong enough in between the years? Because we have seen Dustin Johnson in those moments where he's been in the lead, but he's just completely fallen apart. And I think that for Dustin Johnson, right when he needs to make a move, he needs to be mentally strong in that capacity. And I think, but having a round like that at Firestone, I think it just propels him this week to really make a run at the PGA Championship. I was really disappointed. Steve, you're back on the show, my friend. I've been talking to myself about, Dustin. I was thinking, where did Steve go? Is he out taking a surf and then coming back to talk about the PGA?
No, I went to go hit a couple of 60-degree wedges to see how far I could hit them.
There you go.
And I got him over into the neighbor's hot tub, so I'm okay. I'm good.
Okay, there you go. Well, anyway, I was just saying, Justin Thomas, he won the Firestone. I think that Dustin Johnson, after he's 64, was truly fantastic, and I think it set up well this week, heading the PGA. Rory McIlroy, just quickly, he shot, I think 3 over par the final day. And once again, Rory McIlroy just can't seem to get the victory. He's always there, but just, maybe he's playing not to lose. Is he for the Rory? I mean, why can't he just get the win?
I don't know the answer. I mean, it's mental. I mean, Nicklaus always said the toughest distance in golf is the 4 inches between your ears. That's the hardest yardage in golf, is the 4 inches between your ears. And, he's gone through a relationship and issues, and over a course of time, this has all spanned out over several years from when he had his hot streak. And I think the thing that these guys, the distractions that they get when they win, you've seen it now with Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth was a phenomenon 2 years ago. He started winning everything, and then all of a sudden the tug and pull came into play, and golf is, my wife and I were watching some of the golf last night, and she said, this is just such a mental game. It's one of the few games. It's one of the few games you play where actually the ball is stationary when you address it. Think about it.
Yes.
I mean, soccer, football, golf, baseball, the ball's always moving. Basketball, cricket, every other sport you play pretty much, the ball is badminton, tennis, the ball's moving. And now all of a sudden it's stationary. So when it's stationary, it just gives you more time to think about all the things. And human nature is to always think about all the things that can go wrong, not all the things that can go right. That's just human nature. So it's sustained that week after week after week. But what impressed me was the guys that we want to see battle it out at Belle Reve this weekend were all on top of the leaderboard. They were all there.
For sure.
Ian Tiger for a period of time, Phil for a period of time. But we had the named players up on top of the leaderboard. And that means that they're all hopefully coming into this tournament this weekend. The finals, the last major of the year, Glory's last shot, as Jim Nance will tell you, is going to be playing, at a higher level. And hopefully they're going to be in contention to make it a really fun tournament to watch. But I think this course is going to chew them up. I mean, this is a long golf course. It's a stoic golf course. I had an opportunity to play it one time. I didn't get to do it. because of inclement weather that moved in before we got the tee off. But it's a venue. It's 7,600 yards long with high rough, tight fairways, and, and precision shot making is going to be critical in this. And these guys, when they can all hit 3 irons, 250 yards, it's just going to become probably another one of these things where you're going to see players playing conservatively just to master their way through the golf course. I tell you, in tournaments like this, I always look to Zach Johnson. Zach Johnson, to me, I think he's a Canadian. He's a Canadian, right?
Zach Johnson, I believe, is from Iowa, United States of America.
Oh, he's not Canadian? Who am I thinking of? Is it Mike Weir? Is Mike Weir?
Mike Weir. Well, Mike Weir's a little bit he's fortunately away from the game for a while. He's won he won that Masters in 2003, but has been away from the game for a little while.
Yeah, but I thought Zach Johnson was Canadian, but I could be wrong on that. So I stand corrected. But he's a guy who just hits down the middle fairway, doesn't hit it long, he's precise irons, and doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And I don't really like that about championship golf. I want guys to go after it and to take the risk reward to win rather than to play not to lose. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And look, this is the PGA Championship, of course, said this week. It's the 100th PGA Championship, and it's actually going to be, Steve, the last time the PGA Championship is going to be in August with the new PGA Tour changes that are happening. The PGA is going to actually be in May next year, and I think this is a good move for the PGA. I mean, because in August, as we're seeing this week, it's hot. St. Louis, it's calling for over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and all that you're seeing on the course, the greens are burnt in some holes, and it's quite fast and firm, and it's just not receptive, and that's going to be an issue for these players, down the stretch into the tournament. But I think moving the PGA Championship to May will now give an opportunity. Okay, it's now the second major of the year. They can rebrand around that instead of the glory's last shot that Jim Nance always says. And you're going to get now the opportunity to go to more southern climates where it's not going to be 100 degrees because it's May. And I think that's going to really increase the value and the branding of the PGA Championship for years down the road.
I agree with you, but I'm going to dissent just a little bit in telling you the biggest reason, in my opinion, this happened is what I'm going to call the NFL effect. I think that PGA Tour is the first outside agency to finally come in and say, look, we just once football starts, we lose audience, and we don't get the following. It's, after this weekend, really you get into what golf is always known as silly season, is what they call it. Now, it's a little less silly than it used to be. We still have the Ryder Cup to contend with and the Tour Championships, which we'll talk about as we move forward with the show. But I think this is akin because, in my opinion, here's what I always thought about the majors of golf. Augusta was about the tradition, and to me, before the course became tiger-proofed, as we like to call it, Augusta was about the swashbuckler, the Nicklaus showing up in '86 and just saying, I'm swinging for the fences, I'm hitting home runs from here on out. And the back nine was so playable to score on at Augusta National that you went out there, and Seve and Norman and all the guys that were swashbucklers went out there and attacked that golf course and scored and won tournaments. Now you have guys that kind of sit back and, they put it in the middle of green on 12. What's the old saying Ben Hogan said? If you hit the ball to the right of the pin on number 12 on Sunday, you've missed your shot. And because they just go to the middle of the green and say, I'll take par and walk out of here. In the old days, Palmer said, screw that, I'm firing at the pin. Freddie said, I'm firing at the pin. He left it short, it rolled back in, miraculously it stayed up. He chips up, takes his par, but he went for it. So I think that was always the moniker of the Masters. The U.S. Open was always driving accuracy. You've got to keep the ball in play because we're going to build tight fairways. We're going to keep the rough close to you. And you're going to get penalized a stroke and a half if you cannot keep the ball in play. The British Open was always about weather. I mean, you know, and we got off with an easy British Open this year because the weather at Carnoustie was beautiful, and that's unusual. Usually you're battling the elements there. And the PGA was always about your last chance to win and the temperature and the heat and the stamina that you had to call yourself an athlete as a golfer and to play the golf in severe situations. But a lot of that's gone away. It doesn't seem to have that same swashbuckling effect. I think that's hurt televised golf a little bit to some degree. So moving the tournament into May, I think benefits the PGA definitely. It gets a little more relevance to it. But I think I call it, I think NASCAR and some other lesser sports are going to have to follow in line with what the PGA already realized. And so we're going to have to get out of the way of NFL football. Because once NFL football starts, which is this week, basically because there's games on starting Thursday, everybody's watching it. Everybody, you know, Sunday people are watching their team play, whether it be a preseason game or not. And, you know, the people will DVR the golf and watch it later on at night, fast forward through the commercials, and go from there. I mean, there'll be some that'll watch it live, but for the most part, you know, I'm going to watch the Rams or the Colts play if I can find the games on TV, even though it's a preseason game.
And I think, too, Steve, to build on to that, I think reducing, not only moving the PGA to May, they're also reducing the FedEx Cup playoff to 3 tournaments.
Yeah.
And they're doing that all in August now, so that by the time week 1 of the NFL season starts, you know, it's solely football, and the golf season is over. So I think it's a savvy move by the PGA Tour.
Well, yeah, they're the first ones to recognize it and admit it. You can't compete with the monster that's in the lake sitting next to you. That's the NFL. And then right after that, college football starts on Saturdays. So now you're going to lose your weekend audience because everybody's going to be cheering for Alabama, Oklahoma, Michigan, USC, whatever your dream team is in, you know, college football. And, you know, that's going to be taking up your Saturdays. And all of a sudden the PGA finally has said, let's push everything forward. Let's tighten up our season, and let's get our niche where we can get it and dominate when we can dominate, but realize we're not bigger than NFL football. So I think that's a lot that has to do with that move. And that's just my opinion. Nobody's ever going to admit that on the PGA Tour. But reality says that's probably what happened. Yeah.
But regardless, I think it's going to be very exciting this week at Bellerive. Of course, Bellerive played host to the 1992 PGA Championship when Nick Price won, and then, of course, many years ago when Gary Player won. But I just think, you know, for me, and you know, and speaking to the, a fan who, do I watch this tournament? Do I not? You want the top guys in the mix, and that's all I hope for coming in, into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. You have the Jordan Spieths, you have the DJs, you have the Justin Thomas, and of course Tiger Woods is in contention. Steve, everyone's watching because it would just be marvelous.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good time. I mean, like I said, what I really like about Bellerive is that everybody that we want to be playing well right now is playing well. Jason Day is playing well. All the principal players are playing good right now. We got to address the monster in the room as we wrap up here today because we only got a couple minutes left. Kind of really want to keep this kind of short and sweet. But Tiger, I tell you, I got mesmerized by Tiger's comeback, but I think he's farther away than we all think he is. I mean, he does not seem to have the ability to keep it mentally together for 4 rounds. I almost sadly feel like I think he will win. He will once raise to that occasion and get it all together. But I don't think it's going to be the norm for him or even closer to the norm than what we all loved about Tiger Woods during his 14 majors and his 80-something, 79 PGA Tour wins. I think he will win again. Whether he wins the major or not, I don't know. It won't be this one because I don't think his driver is accurate enough to play this course. And he can't rely on a 3-iron off the tee. When you got 650-yard par 5s and be able to score. Par 5s are scoring holes for these guys. You can't do it. But it's great to have him back in the game because I certainly watch every tournament he plays in. But I'm a little heartbroken that I don't think he's really still at that level of where I think he's going to step up and make a charge. Now, as soon as I say that, he'll win this. He'll win this weekend. He'll win this week. He'll win this week. Yeah, he'll win. Yeah. So what do I know what I'm talking about? But I'm not seeing it like we all hope for and wish could happen.
No, and I'll just speak quickly on this. I think to me it was very evident at Carnoustie. Final round, 8 holes to go. He has the lead. The Tiger of old in 2000 would have run away with that, no questions asked. But I think he really showed, the fans and golf viewers that it takes a lot of mental strength and capacity to close out a major championship. And I think he couldn't do it, he couldn't do it in between the year. And then what happened was he hit a bad shot on the 11th hole, double bogey, then hit a bad shot on 12, bogey, and then boom, he's out of the tournament. So it just
he has two bad shots. He has 2 bad tee balls on 11 and 12, and it just takes him totally out of the tournament. And he doesn't recover from them. Normally, Tiger, even if he hits those balls, he's recovering from them. I mean, that's the Tiger we love. So that recovery phase is what concerns me. That's not there. It's not the fact that everybody, Nicklaus always said, again, I keep going back because I'm older than you, so I keep going back to Nicklaus. Nicklaus said it's always what you do with your bad shots. And Tiger hits 2 bad shots, and he doesn't do anything with them. And he loses the tournament and takes himself entirely out of contention. And then just kind of almost visually, I doubt mentally, but visually just kind of seems to, give up. Like, okay, I'm not winning this one. But maybe our expectations are a little too high. I do think he'll win again. I do want him to make the cut because golf is more relevant when that young man at 43 is still in the game and playing. More people watch golf than when he's not playing. But I like Dustin Johnson. I think this guy has a mastery of his game this week. I think he hits the ball long and he hits it straight. That TaylorMade M3 driver that we would love to have sponsoring our show is just a great piece of equipment. I know I went and got one. So, but he is crushing it with that.
Is that your PGA Championship prediction, Steve? Dustin Johnson?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dustin Johnson. I just think the guy has been too consistent all week long, all year long, and he's risen to the occasion every time. I say every time. You can't say every time, but 90% of the time when he's had to, he's risen to the occasion. And I just think this is his year to be player of the year, to dominate the game in a way, and hopefully that rising tide raises all buoys. Then we see McIlroy, we see Thomas step up, we see Jason Day come back up, we see Spieth get back into the mix, and we start getting him back into the competitive fun, which is the real fun of golf. Is just all these guys out there shooting it out and saying, you know what, he hits at 140, I got to hit it 140.2. I got to get 2 feet inside him so I can get his read off the putt. Yeah. So that's what you hope for. So you're going down. Yeah. So you're heading on. You're heading tomorrow down to Belle Reve. Tell us about your adventure. What are you going to be doing down there?
Well, I'm going to be covering the event, getting interviewed, going, taking in the whole atmosphere, and it's my first major championship that I'm covering. It certainly won't be my last, but I'm just so excited to be going to really, a historic event. It's the 100th PGA. There's, it's the third oldest of the 4 majors. It's the last time it's in August. I just think that, we, a lot of good golfers in the field. So it will be a real learning experience for me to be able to, mingle with my media counterparts, but also allowing me to really, get the good story, produce a good story, and also being able to interview these players who, You know, it's
now
major championship pressure. It's and
right
not
now,
different pressure.
Are you taking your sticks?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, they may.
Well, let me tell you something now. Let me just tell you this. This is what the privilege of getting to do what you're doing is. In 2000 at Pebble Beach, I had the privilege of being a runner for the Golf Channel. One of the announcers of the Golf Channel was a friend of mine, and I went out to Pebble Beach, and I got to be a runner. So basically, I had an all-access pass because I was the one who went and got the players, the talent, to the studio for interviews and in the press conference. So I got that privilege. But the really cool thing is, on the Monday after the tournament, they have a lottery, or Augusta has a lottery. Now, in Pebble Beach, it was just all the media that wanted to play could stay and play the course. And we played on the Monday after the tournament in 2000 when Tiger won by 14 shots at Pebble Beach and just blew everybody away. The things that I took away from it are you don't understand how hard these golf courses are these guys play. They're nothing like what we play on Saturdays and Sundays at country clubs or uni courses.
No,
it's not even close. It's not even close. So first off, you're dropping balls where those guys hit shots. You're like, I can't even see the ball. How the hell can I get a club on it and hit it a 7-iron, 210 yards uphill on number 6, par 5 at Pebble Beach, and put it 3 feet in the pin and make an eagle to walk away with the tournament? You know, and that was a spot that was one of the greatest shots Tiger made that week. And then to be out there, that was the year after Payne Stewart had passed away, unfortunately, and they had the ceremony off the Calabogie Sound, or not Calabogie Sound, up the Reflection Bay out there. I think it's called Reflection Bay. They all teed off, all the players teed off one last time for Payne Stewart, and to be out there and be part of that. So I'm going to tell you, if you pack your sticks, if you get the chance to go play the course, play the course. I mean, it's a lifetime of memories. I never forget. It's probably the most fond round of golf I played because right behind me was Chris Bierman, ESPN, when he was in his heyday in 2000. And this guy is the funniest guy you'll ever meet in your life. And what a pleasure it was to be in the same 100 yards with him. Of course, he was generally 100 yards more right or left than I was, but that's okay. He didn't care. He was having fun with it, but definitely do that. He played Pebble Beach on somebody else's dime, which I've played like 3 or 4 of the times before on my own dime, which is not a cheap venture. And
$400, over $400.
Yeah. Well, that's without a caddy, and without a wife who goes into the pro shop and starts shopping.
Yeah.
So it gets a little more than $400 real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of financial responsibility, Steve.
But we look forward to reports from you. If you can post some, get some interviews, we'll post them on the Grueling Truth if we're able to. I know you've got obligations elsewhere at this point in time, but we'll see what we can get done. And this is the first of a golf show that we're going to start doing. We hope you enjoyed it. If you got feedback, please give us feedback. We'll post this. Lukas, wrap it up and give us closing comments on tonight's show. Who do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth. I think that Spieth, even though he hasn't been playing well, he's due for a victory, and this would be a historic victory because this would give him the career Grand Slam. Not many golfers done that. I mean, Tiger, of course, done it. Jack, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, but not many have done it, and it would be quite the honor for him. It's very similar to last year where he was, before he won the Open Championship, he was struggling, but then came out and won the Open at Birkdale. So I like Jordan because he's accurate,
Good call.
I think he'll produce this week, I think. So anyway, we're gonna wrap things up here. It's been a lot of fun to do this opening show. Steve, of course, next week's show, we're going to be talking, of course, about the PGA Championship and one and breaking that down. We're also going to be talking about the Ryder Cup picks because the day after the PGA Championship, Chase Furyk is announcing his Ryder Cup team. So that'll be very interesting to see. Does Tiger Woods get a captain's pick?
That's my question. Well, what do you What do you think? Does Tiger get a captain's pick or not? I say yes.
I cannot.
I'd want him on my team. I'd want him on my team.
Yeah,
I would not. The way he's playing right now, I would not turn him down. He can make magic happen at any moment, and the Ryder Cup's all about magical moments.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's a lot of fun. Ryder Cup, big time. Anyway, so we'll be talking about the Ryder Cup without the PGA Championship, and of course the final regular season PGA Tour event before the next Cup playoffs. That's all happening next Monday, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific Time. Steve, it's been a pleasure to do this first show with you. Can't wait to do it in the future.
I look forward to it. It's going to be, we're going to learn, we're going to get better, and we will hopefully have interviews and insight into the game. We'll have some guests on throughout the goes, and if you like golf, stay with us because we will make it informative. But most importantly, between Lukas and I, a Canadian and a Hoosier getting together, we're going to make it fun. That's the least thing that's going to happen.
Sure.
It's going to be fun.
There you go. Well, with that, I say for my co-host Steve Risley, I'm Lukas Weese saying so long, golf fans. You've been listening to the Golf Show on the Grueling Truth
Cruise
Network, where the legends